In an era defined by rapid technological advancement, shifting economic landscapes, and evolving societal values, the very definition of the American dream is undergoing a profound transformation. For generations, this quintessential national ethos was built on a foundation of upward mobility. The promise that hard work and determination could lead to a better life, often symbolized by home ownership, a stable career, and financial security for one's children. Yet, as the 21st century unfolds, a growing chorus of voices from economists, sociologists, and everyday citizens suggests that this traditional blueprint is becoming increasingly unattainable. For many, prompting a nationwide re-evaluation of what it means to make it in America. The classic image of a single-family home with a white picket fence, once the bedrock of middle-class aspiration, is now colliding with the harsh realities of a complex and often unforgiving modern economy. This divergence between the dream and the reality is not merely an economic issue. It is a cultural and psychological one, touching every corner of the nation and forcing a conversation about the future of opportunity and prosperity in the United States. The economic headwinds facing aspiring Americans are formidable and multifaceted, creating significant barriers to achieving the traditional markers of success. Perhaps the most glaring obstacle is the escalating cost of living, which has consistently outpaced wage growth for several decades. Housing, in particular, has morphed from a stepping stone into a significant hurdle. In major metropolitan areas and even in once affordable suburbs, home prices have soared to levels that are simply out of reach for a large segment of the population, especially for younger generations burdened by student loan debt. The national median home price has climbed to historic highs, and rising interest rates have further squeezed affordability, pushing the dream of home ownership further down the road or off the table entirely for millions. This housing crisis is compounded by the rising costs of other essential goods and services, including healthcare, childcare, and higher education. The staggering cost of a college degree, once seen as a guaranteed ticket to the middle class, has saddled an entire generation with unprecedented levels of debt, delaying major life milestones, such as marriage, starting a family, and, of course, buying a home. Furthermore, the nature of work itself has fundamentally changed, challenging the notion of a stable, lifelong career that provides a predictable path to prosperity. The rise of the gig economy, the decline of unionized labor, and the pressures of globalization have led to an increase in precarious employment. Many Americans find themselves stringing together part-time jobs, freelance contracts, and temporary positions, often without the benefits, such as health insurance and retirement plans, that were once standard. This job churn creates a persistent sense of economic insecurity, making it difficult to plan for the future or build long-term wealth. While technological innovation has created new industries and opportunities, it has also led to automation and job displacement in traditional sectors, leaving many workers feeling left behind. The promise of climbing the corporate ladder has been replaced by the reality of a job-to-job existence, where financial stability feels perpetually fragile and the next paycheck is never fully guaranteed. This economic precarity reshapes the very psychology of the American dream, shifting the focus from upward mobility to mere survival and stability. In response to these economic challenges, a new, more nuanced version of the American dream is beginning to emerge. One that prioritizes different values and redefines what constitutes a successful and fulfilling life. For many, particularly younger Americans, the dream is no longer solely defined by material wealth or the accumulation of assets. Instead, there is a growing emphasis on experiences, personal well-being, and work-life balance. This new dream might involve the freedom to travel, the flexibility to pursue a passion project, or the ability to work remotely from a location that offers a better quality of life, even if it means a lower salary. The rigid, one-size-fits-all model of success is being replaced by a more personalized and flexible vision. For some, success is measured by financial independence and the ability to retire early. A movement known as FIRE Financial Independence, Retire Early, which often involves extreme frugality and savvy investing rather than a high-paying corporate job. For others, it's about community engagement, creative fulfillment, or building a life with a smaller environmental footprint. This evolving dream also places a greater premium on mental and physical health, a stark contrast to the work at all costs mentality of previous generations. The modern pursuit of happiness often includes a desire for a less stressful lifestyle, access to quality health care, and time for self-care and personal relationships. The entrepreneurial spirit, long a hallmark of the American ethos, is also being reimagined. While the goal of starting a business remains potent, it's often on a smaller, more sustainable scale. The new American entrepreneur might be a small batch artisan selling goods online, a freelance digital nomad providing services from around the globe, or a community-focused business owner prioritizing local impact over massive expansion. This shift reflects a broader cultural movement away from conspicuous consumption and toward a more mindful and intentional way of living. The dream is less about having it all and more about having enough financial security to feel safe, enough time to enjoy life, and enough freedom to pursue personal passions. It is a more introspective and, for many, a more attainable vision of a life well lived. As the nation grapples with this redefinition, the path forward remains uncertain, and the debate over the accessibility of the American dream is more relevant than ever. The significant disparities in opportunity, often drawn along racial, economic, and geographic lines, continue to challenge the core promise that anyone can succeed through hard work alone. Systemic barriers, from discriminatory housing policies of the past to ongoing inequalities in education and the justice system, mean that the starting line is not the same for everyone. Addressing these deep-seated issues is critical to ensuring that the American dream, in any of its forms, remains a possibility for all, not just a privileged few. Policymakers, community leaders, and citizens are now engaged in a vital conversation about how to rebuild the ladders of opportunity. This includes proposals for affordable housing initiatives, student debt relief, expansion of access to affordable health care, and investments in education and job training programs designed for the 21st century economy. Ultimately, the story of the American dream in modern times is one of resilience and adaptation. It is a testament to the enduring human desire for a better life, even as the definition of better continues to change. The dream is not dead, but it is being profoundly reshaped by the economic realities and shifting values of a new generation. It is becoming more diverse, more personal, and more focused on well-being than on wealth alone. The challenge for the United States is to foster a society where these new dreams, as well as the more traditional ones, can be pursued and realized by all of its citizens. The future of this foundational national promise will depend on the nation's ability to adapt its economic and social structures to support the aspiration of a changing populace, ensuring that the pursuit of happiness, in all its varied forms, remains at the heart of the American experience. The conversation is ongoing, and its outcome will shape the identity and trajectory of the nation for generations to come.